Almost nothing in your home was invented for the reason you use it today. Your kid's favorite toy was a cleaning product. Your gym equipment was a Victorian punishment. And the little blue pill in your grandfather's cabinet was supposed to fix his heart. Here are 10 everyday things that were invented for a completely different purpose. Let's count them down. In the early 1900s, students at Yale University discovered that the empty pie tins from the Frisbee pie company had a magical property. Throw one flat, and it would glide. They hurled the tins across campus, yelling Frisbee as a warning. Decades later, inventor Fred Morrison designed a plastic version he called the Play-Doh platter, hoping to cash in on America's UFO obsession. When the Wham-O toy company bought his design in 1957, they heard about the Yale pie tin game and renamed it the Frisbee, deliberately misspelled so the bakery couldn't sue. The pie company closed just 1 year later. The toy went on to sell over 200 million units. In 1957, engineers Alfred Fielding and Mark Chavon sealed 2 shower curtains together, trapping air bubbles between them. Their invention? Textured wallpaper. They were convinced that stylish homeowners would want to cover their walls with plastic bubbles. Nobody did, so they tried selling it as greenhouse insulation instead. That failed too. Then, in 1959, IBM announced a fragile new computer that needed to be shipped across the country, and the two men finally realized what they had actually invented: the perfect packaging material. Sealed Air, the company they founded, is now worth billions. And popping their failed wallpaper remains one of the most satisfying feelings on Earth. During World War I, the Kimberly-Clark Company developed a cotton substitute called Cellocotton, used as a filter in gas masks and as bandages on the front lines. After the war, they had mountains of it left over. Their solution? In 1924, they flattened it into soft sheets and sold it as Kleenex, a luxury towel for women to remove cold cream and makeup. Then the customer letters started pouring in. People kept using the makeup towel to blow their noses, and husbands were stealing them from their wives. So in 1930, the company changed its slogan to "Don't put a cold in your pocket," and the disposable tissue was born. WD-40 was invented to protect a nuclear missile. In 1953, the tiny rocket chemical company in San Diego was trying to create a formula that would displace water and prevent rust on the paper-thin steel skin of the Atlas missile, America's first intercontinental ballistic missile. It took them 40 attempts to get it right. Hence the name. Water displacement, Formula 40. The stuff worked so well that employees started sneaking cans home to fix squeaky doors and stuck bolts. The company took the hint and put it in aerosol cans. Today, WD-40 sits in about 8 out of 10 American households, and the exact formula is still a trade secret. During World War II, American soldiers had a deadly problem. The wax seals on ammunition boxes let water in, and lives depended on dry ammo. In 1943, Vesta Stout, a factory worker with 2 sons in the Navy, proposed sealing the boxes with a strong, waterproof, cloth-backed tape. She wrote directly to President Roosevelt, and he made it happen. Johnson & Johnson manufactured the tape, and soldiers nicknamed it duct tape because water rolled right off it. After the war, contractors started using the silver tape to seal air ducts in new suburban homes, and the name shifted to duct tape. Ironically, modern tests show it is one of the worst tapes you can use on actual ducts. Play-Doh was a cleaning product for 20 years before it became a toy. In the 1930s, the Qulolup company of Cincinnati sold a soft, squishy compound designed to wipe coal soot off wallpaper. But after World War II, homes switched from coal to gas heating. The soot disappeared, and Qulolup was heading for bankruptcy. Then Kay Zufall, a nursery school teacher, noticed that her kids loved sculpting with the cleaning putty. She told her brother-in-law, who ran the company, "Stop selling it as a cleaner. Sell it as a toy." They removed the detergent, added colors and that famous smell, and renamed it Play-Doh. More than 3 billion cans have been sold since. Listerine has been many things. It was invented in 1879 as a surgical antiseptic, named after Joseph Lister, the pioneer of sterile surgery. Over the following decades, it was marketed as a floor cleaner, an aftershave, and even a cure for gonorrhea. Nothing sold. Then, in the 1920s, the company found the perfect strategy. They took an obscure medical term, halitosis, and ran ads convincing Americans that bad breath was a shameful disease, ruining their marriages and their careers. A disease that only Listerine could cure. Revenue went from $100,000 to $8 million in just 7 years. The product never changed. Only the fear did. High heels were invented for men. Persian cavalry soldiers wore heels as early as the 10th century because a heel locks your foot into a stirrup when you stand up to fire a bow on horseback. When Persian diplomats visited Europe in the late 1500s, aristocratic men went crazy for the look. Heels made you taller, and walking in them signaled that you were rich enough to never have to work. King Louis XIV of France even made red-heeled shoes a legal privilege of his court. Women adopted heels later, borrowing the power of masculine fashion. Then men abandoned them, and the meaning flipped completely. The treadmill was invented as a punishment. In 1818, English engineer William Cubitt looked at prisoners sitting idle and designed a giant stepped wheel that forced them to climb for up to 8 hours a day, grinding grain or pumping water as they walked. Oscar Wilde was sentenced to it. Prisoners called it the everlasting staircase, and reformers eventually found it so cruel that Britain banned it in 1902. Then, in the 1960s, doctors discovered that sustained walking and climbing was excellent for the heart, and the torture device was reborn. This time as something we voluntarily pay to use every January. The prisoners, at least, never needed a membership. Viagra was supposed to treat heart disease. In the early 1990s, Pfizer was testing a compound called UK-92480 for chest pain, hoping it would relax the blood vessels around the heart. The trials were a disappointment, but the male volunteers kept reporting one very specific side effect, and several of them refused to hand back their leftover pills. Pfizer knew exactly what it had found. In 1998, the failed heart medication was approved as Viagra, and it earned almost $400 million in its first 3 months. The heart condition it failed to treat is still waiting for its miracle. The accident became one of the most famous pills in history. A punishment machine in your gym, a missile coating in your garage, a gas mask filter in your pocket. Nothing is quite what it was meant to be, and that is exactly what makes it genius. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to Genius by Accident for more of history's greatest wrong turns. Thanks for watching.